If you're looking for cheap and instant Madden Ultimate Team coins, head on over to MikeCoinBank.com and use the discount code RBT for 10% off. And if you're looking for packs actually worth opening, check out MaddenMascot.com and use code RBT for 10% off. Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Samuel Brown, aka RBT, coming at you with another Madden 17 video today. And today we're going to be going back to what I did on the channel a couple months ago. I don't know why I got away from doing it, but today we're going to start back the team rebuilds, and I really do enjoy doing them, and most of you enjoy watching them, so why not bring them back to the channel? And today we're going to start back the rebuilds by using the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I did the Dallas Cowboys previously, but you got to remember it's been like probably 3 or 4 months since I've done a team rebuild. The final roster updates are in Madden 17, so it's a completely different roster. I'm hoping to do like 2 or 3 a week, so if you want to see that, let me know by dropping a like. And if we do get 1,000 likes on today's video, I'll definitely do more rebuilds in the future. I just got to see if you guys still enjoy them. But as always in rebuilds, the goal is to rebuild the team and make it as good as possible, and hopefully sim a season and see if the team can win the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the ultimate goal in these rebuilds. And last thing before we get into today's videos, I gotta show you guys, my new shirt finally came in. This one and the Gotta Stay Positive shirt came in. Let's see if you guys can see it. The Gotta Be Great shirt, the new one, is now in stores. If you guys have not seen the new shirts and new merchandise, there's like 4 or 5 different shirts out there. I'll leave a link as always in the description box below to the site with my merchandise. But with that said, let's jump into this Cowboys rebuild and hopefully win the Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys. But first, we're going to look at the team's depth chart and see really where we need to upgrade this team at. First of all, Tony Romo is probably going to go. Dak Prescott, of course, is going to be the starter. Now, the offensive line is pretty much incredible, dude, but if we can get a better right tackle, that will just make this offensive line that much better. We don't really need another tight end. I mean, Jason Witten's an absolute beast. And then I think we could potentially add one more very good wide receiver to have a partnership with Dez Bryant. I don't think we need another running back. I mean, Zeke's pretty freaking good. Now, looking on defense, we definitely have some upgrades we could use here. Maybe another cornerback or two, probably a whole new defensive line if we can do so, and maybe a couple more linebackers. It's a pretty good team to start off with, definitely not using the Browns to start off with, so not that hard, but we definitely do have some work cut out for us. And the one thing that really does hurt us in this rebuild is the fact that we only have $7 million to spend. So we have a pretty freaking small budget to use, but hopefully we can be great and still win the Super Bowl. So here we go, fellas, our first trade attempt for today's video. Tony Romo from the Dallas Cowboys to the Denver Broncos for Aqib Talib. Now, Tony Romo to the Broncos in real life is a very high probability. I would say the Broncos and the Texans are the 2 most likely teams to pick up Tony Romo. Let me know where you think Tony Romo will end up in the comment section below. But if we could get ourselves a #1 corner to add to that secondary, this would be pretty freaking awesome. Not sure if it's going to go through, though, because I mean, he's a 93 overall. It's in the orange, though, so this could still potentially happen. What else do the Broncos need? They need a right end. We have these 2 guys that we could potentially add in. They're interested in both of these guys. So let me try this deal right here, and they're in the yellow. So I think if I add in like a 3rd round draft pick with this deal, this could potentially go through. We can get ourselves a #1 corner. So let's go with the 3rd round draft pick. Please, please, Broncos, and it was accepted. So we get ourselves a very talented cornerback for Tony Romo, a 3rd string right end, and a 3rd round draft pick. Now, we don't need Doug Free because we are going to try to get another right tackle, but we need a freaking good defensive tackle. The only team interested in Doug Free in the whole entire NFL is the Cincinnati Bengals, so we're going to try to get their defensive tackle, Geno Atkins, who's very freaking good. So throwing in Doug Free and a 2nd round draft pick. Let's see how close this is, and it was accepted? No way! Let's see if this will go through, and it's still in the green. So why not add in the 1st round draft pick for this year? I think this would be worth it, definitely. So, gonna add this in, and it was accepted. A very freaking good right tackle and a pretty freaking good middle linebacker to add to the team for 2 players that weren't starters. So now we're trying to trade away 2 players that have no use to us whatsoever, and they take up a pretty big chunk of cap room. And now the Cardinals are very interested in both of those players, and we're trying to get Calais Campbell in return in this deal, who would just be a huge, huge freaking acquisition for us for, like I said, 2 players that don't mean anything to us. So what about Calais Campbell straight up, and it's in the green. So we are going to make this happen. I just got to find a way how. How about my 2nd round draft pick for next year? And, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I traded around some draft picks, got a third rounder for this year, adding this one into the deal to make sure it goes through, and it was accepted. We get ourselves a freaking world-class defensive end. So the only team in the whole entire NFL interested in both of these players are the Indianapolis Colts. And these are two players I'm just trying to throw away, and the Colts don't have anything in terms of players that I want to bring in, so I'm going to try to get just a draft pick to use elsewhere, first round draft pick, and just like that, it was accepted. Had no idea that was going to be accepted, but I mean, I guess I'm happy. So we do need a left end, so we can trade our two backup right ends for a starting left end for Carlos Dunlap. I think this would be a pretty good deal, and it's in the yellow. So what if we add in a first round draft pick for next year? Is this going to be enough to bring in Carlos Dunlap? And it's not. How about this year's first round draft pick? Is this going to be enough to bring in Carlos Dunlap? And it is so freaking close. Okay, so they're interested in our left outside linebacker. How about this deal? And now this one was accepted. I think that's a pretty freaking awesome deal, to be honest. So I can't believe this deal actually went through. I was just trying to trade away some players to free up some cap space. We traded this like third string middle linebacker. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, but for some reason, the Dolphins were interested in him, like in terms of the green, so we got a lot for him. I also added in Mark Sanchez to free up some cap space, and next year's third round draft pick for a second for this year, so that's pretty freaking good. So one of our last positions of need is left outside linebacker. Now, we have this guy Wilcox, who's a very good strong safety, but he is our backup, so I would much rather trade him away and get ourselves a starting left outside linebacker than keep him as the backup strong safety. So I want to see how close this is straight up for Jamie Collins, and it's not that close. So they are interested in my backup left end, Irving, as well. So we're going to try adding in my second rounder for next year, see if this will go through, and are you kidding? So how about this year's first and next year's second plus Wilcox for Jamie Collins? Please, it was accepted. Thank God. So I think this is my last deal that I will attempt if it does in fact go through. Because the last couple things I think we do need is a backup defensive tackle and another decent wide receiver. Now, I think Kenny Britt and Michael Brockers would be pretty freaking good for those two positions. Let's see if this deal will go through, and it's in the yellow, but I think we have some draft picks that could potentially make this deal go through. We have a second for next year. Will this be enough? I'm not sure if it will be, and it's so close. There we go. It finally was accepted. Durant, Wilson, and a third rounder for this year for Brockers and Kenny Britt. Okay. So after a total of an hour and 7 minutes of trading, this is the final team that we have assembled. It looks pretty freaking good, dude. Like, no weak points on offense. This offensive line's pretty sick. I almost traded for Tyler Eifert there at the end, but decided to get another cornerback instead, and Darius Slay. And this is a pretty good freaking offense, man. The skill position players, Dak, you got Zeke, Cole Beasley, Des Bryant, Kenny Britt, who we added, and Terrence Williams is the number 4 receiver. Now, our defense is looking much better. Now, our middle linebacker is probably the weakness of the team, but I think Jordan Hicks and Jalen Smith is a pretty good combo right there. Sean Lee and Jamie Collins also added to the team. Actually lost a little bit at the safety position because we traded a backup strong safety, but I think we'll still be okay because our cornerbacks are incredible now. Aqib Talib, Skandrick, Darius Slay, and Morris Claiborne. The defensive line is completely revamped. It is time to sim to the playoffs, and if this team does not make the playoffs, I don't know what to say because it's absolutely incredible. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below before the simulation's over, what do you think this team's record is gonna be? So as you see, it looks like we got a first round bye. Now it's time to see what our actual record was. Looks like most of our players did improve. Dak went up to an 87, Zeke still had an 88, but to see our record, it was 14-1-1. Pretty freaking incredible. And now I just want to go see, I'm kind of curious, who we actually lost to. Cincinnati Bengals of all teams. Now, we also tied with the Buccaneers. So we're actually taking on the 7-9 Seahawks in the divisional round. But before we do that, I forgot to show you guys the stats from the season. We had the 8th best offense in the NFL, and in terms of defense, we had the best defense in the NFL. Dak Prescott, a good season, 35 TDs, 17 picks. It's a lot of picks though, but a decent season enough to go 14-1. Rushing yards, Zeke 1,600 yards and 19 touchdowns. Receiving yards, Cole Beasley, Dez, and Kenny Britt all pretty much eclipsed 1,000 yards, and Dez led the team with 11 touchdowns. Michael Brockers, our backup tackle, lead us with 13 sacks. Who led us in tackles? It's going to be Sean Lee and Jordan Hicks. In interceptions, Orlando Skandrick had 10. LaShawn McCoy, won the MVP from the Bills. Zeke came in 9th. So we did beat the Seattle Seahawks and made it to the conference championship round against the Green Bay Packers. We beat them 41-35, so it was a relatively close game. Let's go ahead and sim past this week and see which team we're going to be playing in the Super Bowl, because we're going to win the Super Bowl, of course. We lost? Did we actually lose? It said, how did we lose? The Patriots versus Packers, we lost. 42-24. Who done screwed up? 6 touchdowns? Aaron Rodgers threw 6 touchdowns? So after everything that's happened in this video, it looks like the Packers beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl 35-28. And one thing I guess this video does show you, that not all teams give up big leads to the Patriots in the Super Bowl.